So what we got here is another outdoor oven, yeah, similar to the other ones I made, but yeah, another prototype. This is the main box of the thing. It's pretty much how it's going to be. In the summer of 2020, from humble beginnings, we started a channel, and this is our journal. With limited finance, what started with the need for a rotating fly tying vise, we went to making knives, 2x72 belt grinders, and here and there an outdoor oven or two. The ultimate goal is to build an off-grid cabin in the woods. But for now, we work with what we have, we do what we do, and we welcome you to follow along with our humble journey. We can't guarantee what's coming around the corner or what's coming next, but we genuinely hope you can sit back and enjoy our journey as much as we are. So what we got here is another outdoor oven, yeah, similar to the other ones I made, but yeah, another prototype. What I'm going to do here, what I've done, I've got on the CAD, made up a few drawings, and I'm just following along with the drawings and doing what I can with that, just to make sure the drawings are all good. So most of the components are here, still got a bit to get, a bit to scavenge up, and yeah, a few changes and things I've done. What the main change with this one is, which we'll have a look at that in a bit further, is most of the construction is stainless steel. Whereas if you look at the first outdoor oven I built, most of the material was mild steel. So feast dryers over here, this here, if you can see that, we'll move that. This here, I could get access to some 3mm sheet, so you'll probably see as we get further on that I've actually fabricated this 50 by 50 or 2-inch box section, cut it in to make the legs. I'm going to put it on casters again like the others. This part here is going to be the flue, same as before, and fabricated the flue tube. Not sure if I'm putting a damper in it yet or not, don't know. But anyway, that's that part. This part here is going to be the firebox, so I've still got a hole to cut out of here. Ooh, yeah, get that working. Okay, and that's the flue. So that's those parts there. So easy enough with that. Like I said, it's prototype, don't know if it'll work, but we'll give it a go. Over here you can see we've got the doors, so similar to the first one I built, if you want to flick back and have a look or whatever. I'm going to hinge it the same way with the grabs on top, you pull down. Haven't got those made yet, but I will do, and you'll see as the build gets further along how that works. And that's the firebox door with the vents in it, the same. It's a wee bit of cleaning up to do on that, but we'll get there with that. So that's where I'm at with those. So I naturally got to weld up the corners, seal them up. Again, stainless steel. We'll see how that goes. This is the main box of the thing. That's pretty much how it's going to be. A bit of shadow on it, never mind. This part here, naturally the guts of it, I think last time I made that out of stainless steel as well. Or did I? No, I didn't. I made that out of mild steel. So that was mild steel. In here you can see that's going to go in the firebox, the bottom of it. I might weld that in, I might not. That's mild steel, because stainless will distort. I may have that removable so I can replace it, may not. So here we go. That's the ashtray. And again, these here, I had access to offcuts and thrown away 3mm sheet. So I fabricated these angles. So I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but there it is. And the top is 8mm mild steel, which I had access to, again, offcuts and bits of sheet that people were throwing away, or plate. I've gone mild steel with the top. Yes, it'll be it'll rust because most of the time this sits outside, but we can oil it and do what we have to do. But if you know much about steel, which I don't really probably, stainless steel doesn't transfer heat very well. Not as good for barbecue tops as mild steel. Mild steel is way better. Not that this is a barbecue, but we'll still be able to cook on here. It won't be a hot plate per se, like the other one, but we'll put pots, fry pans and so forth on here. So you want it to transfer the heat through to the, whatever you put on it, yeah. So that's that part there. Now the piece I did make stainless steel last time, we'll have a look at it now, which is the front, yeah. So like I said, I didn't say. Anyway, this is the grill, so I'll put that up here. Fire ashtray. And it needs a bit of tweaking up because it's not quite going to fit. I don't know how square I got that in the end, but I did. So, that's how I had the last one as well. It's a stainless steel front, firebox, and the oven part fit inside there, and that will be bolted to the front. Like I said, don't quite fit yet, but it will. And so that's the most basic guts of that part. So stainless steel. You have quite a few bolts around here, as you'll see as the build goes on, and because it does tend to distort under the heat. Having said that, you'll only be up to, I don't know, 300 degrees C at the most, which isn't a lot for steel. So that's cool. So that's my build, yeah. So about the body of it, let's have another look at that. How did I make that? See over here, let's have a look sideways. So the body is basically 2 flat sheets cut out. Starting there, you can see I've tacked that on, folded that way. So it's got a weld down here. And the other bit, we'll have a look at the other side, it's very similar. So there's a weld underneath here too. Don't know what that white stuff is, who cares? And there we go, that's that part of the body. We'll have a look at the base and the rest of it now. So the base part of it here, might be hard to see, doesn't matter. That just cut at the width, go down to here and down there, and just brake press in the middle. So it's got a weld down the side, along the back, through there. So yeah, hopefully, yeah. And that's how I did it last time, but I did it mild steel. So this time we're just gonna try the stainless, yep, see how that works. Like I said, it's a prototype. It should be right, hopefully. Yeah. So that's the start of the build and most of the bits. And finally this piece here, being the oven box here. I made it as big as I think I can put in there. So slightly bigger than the first prototype. Again, constructed the same way. That's folded around there, down there, through there and out there. It'll fit inside that front. So the whole front will come off and all this stuff will come out with it. Depends how in depth we get into the build. And the sides welded on. Yep. Also inside here, I'm going to put some little ledges, things for trays and stuff like that. So that's what that part there is. So that's all nice and that's all good. The other thing I have done prematurely, we'll have a look. I'm back at you now. So what I've done is I've made up 3 of these, had some offcuts again, which are going to be thrown out. So I've taken them and I've fabricated up those oven trays, which will fit in there, 3 of them, like I said. If you look at my gas-fired oven, you can see the oven box in that is huge compared to this, but you'll certainly cook a lot of food in there once you get it going. So that's all good. We should get 3 of those in there, or 2, or whatever you want. So grates will come in time, yeah. I'll buy this round bar for it, and you'll see what I'm talking about. All good. So with that being said, yeah, let's proceed. So if you look nice and closely on that fabricated angle line I've got there, I think that's a hole here. What I've drilled is like 12 mil or around about 1/2 inch, maybe not quite a bit big. I'm just going to plug weld these every so often. That'll avoid distortion. The last one I did exactly the same. Not a lot of smoke came out, there's not a lot of gap, so we'll give it a go on this stainless one. Make sure there's no PVC on the outside, and there's not. And then what I'm going to do is corner weld it, yeah. So I'm going to corner weld down here, and these corner welds might stagger it, might not. See how we go. Ideally, yes, you probably know as well as I do that I should purge it. But to be quite honest, I do not have enough money to afford that much gas. If you live in this country, apparently I heard the other day that the tungsten electrodes are now up to $24 New Zealand per tungsten. So, yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, I'll just corner weld it. Hopefully I don't burn through too much. And like I said, it is a prototype, so I don't want to spend $1 million on it. Get it as cheap as I can, see if it works, and then if I ever build another one, I'll do what I've got to do. If I was building it for a person who's going to pay what it costs, then I would purge it, but it's just for me. The actual oven box, because it's sort of food going in it, I have purged that. Right, let's go. The only problem with not having somewhere to make it, like a garage, is it can get a bit breezy, yeah? Try that. Get the old helmet on. All my leads and everything else are getting covered in mud, but... Oh, no gas, brother. Not quite as easy as I thought. We'll get there. Right, plug welding done. Don't put that on there, put that there. Change the tungsten. Don't melt that either. Thank you. Right, let's weld up. Hopefully you can see that. Struggling a bit with the lighting, but not a lot I can do about where the sun shines, yeah? Right, let's go. Should really purge it, like I said, should really hammer it too, to be fair. Just eliminate a little bit of a distortion, but we're not going to do any of it. Yeah, I've done better, but I had better eyesight too. Relax, brother, relax, take it easy. Oh, what's it down? Yeah, why not? Stop it. I think, therefore I am, we go a bit hotter, eh? We're on 80, 103 is too much, 96, and we go a bit faster, yeah? We'll try that. Might not be, yeah, it'll do. Just deal with that. I'd have to say it looks like it's distorting a wee bit, but certainly within acceptable limits. Methinks what I'm going to do, that's hot. The deer, I'm all well to go. Where is it? There it is. Oh, it's going to be hot. Oh no. Yep, that's hot. Oh, nice. So if you want to get into a bit of TIG welding, or you don't, or you do, yeah, you might note that I'll start where I've got it. And even if it's a lap, what do you call it, butt weld or whatever, I'll start there and do a little bit. I won't finish on that weld there, because always on ends, it's not really an end there because it's supported there, but on ends you tend to blow stuff away. You get too much heat, so I'll put a bit there and then I'll carry on if I carry on going that way, which I might not. The wind's coming up, hopefully not. Too bad. Let's go. So if you understood that or you don't, sometimes you'll put sacrificial plates, sheets out there, so you weld off onto it or weld the other way, and it just stops it blowing away, yeah? Anyway. we'll get this done, and then we get another little welding job to do of aluminium. Oh no, it's tandalised. Don't want to go that way. Righto, going. Beautiful. Right, we'll let that cool down while we get the dirty old welder out. We'll rock over there, try and fix our shade cloth if we can. Frost cloth, sorry. Whatever it's called, try and fix it. Got an idea, might work, might not. We won't be using that, we'll be using aluminium. Radio, a bit of a sidetrack. So what we've got going on here, we've got a bit of frosts coming on. You can see the old frost cloth is, yeah, not really playing the game. It's coming down. The beasties are getting into it and wrecking it. Only cats, but who cares? And what I'm trying to do, theory being, I'll weld a bit of round bar across the top, if it'll reach, and I'll make it, stake it out like a tent, yeah? Thank you. Yeah, we'll get away with that if we can hold it there. Right, let's start. Well, I'm getting tired. Right, we got that one. She's a bit dirty, that's all. These poles are full of dirt. Yeah. Anyway, no excuses. Shut up and get it done, yeah? Thank you. Finally, got it. Awesome. This is, whoa, crikey. Anyway. Yep. Yes. Right, it'll do, mate. All good. Let that cool down, pack the welder up, and we'll put that stuff on, yeah. So yeah, again, if you're new to welding if you can hear that fan going. What you want to do, turn your gas off because it costs a lot of money. Apart from that, you want to turn the welder off at the machine first, because that fan, those fans, this machine here, the fan goes all the time anyway. But some machines, those fans come on when it starts to get a bit hot, and that cools it down. So you can see I turned it off right then, and it's fan's still going because it's quite hot. So you want to turn it off at the machine, let that fan stop, and then turn it off at the socket. Just, yeah, for your information. Rightio, let's test the concept, shall we? Only problem is that one at the end there. Should have taken it off the pole first, because now I'm going to have to cut it to get the pole off the pole. But this stuff rips really, really easily. So we'll see what we got to do. It's not very wide. Yeah. So there it is, that's the frost cloth all done, yeah. The batteries died yesterday and the camera stopped working, but that's the finished result. If you've been following along with the channel, you might have noted the old raised gardens type greenhouse improvised thing here. And they're working a treat too. Bit of a frost this morning. Pretty heavy for this part of the world, but not too bad really. But there it is, all done. So, rightio, a little distraction out of the way. So if you're thinking you might want to grab some of these drawings and whatever, we can work something out. Got a little bit of weld theory here. So what I was talking about yesterday, corner welds. If you look in here, this improvised blackboard sort of thing. I'll start with the plug welds actually. If we look, if you can see that, hopefully you can. So that's the base there like that, base material. And the stuff on top, what I've done is put a hole in it, yeah. But what I've also done is I've countersunk that slightly, like so. So then what I'm doing is I'm putting a weld on this edge. So that little edge, because that's thinner, it's easier to burn in here, you'll still get a nice weld on it, yeah. That'll work really good. So that's just what I did for a plug weld the inside up. And yeah, just a lot less distortion doing it that way. For corner welds, if you have a look here, what you want to achieve with a corner weld, that there being some of the material, yep. We'll draw it down here like this, and that's the other side. You want to go corner to corner if you can, as you can see that there, corner to corner. If you were to go like this, you'll never ever get a really nice weld on there unless you prep it. Just do that, grind it out, which it's not really worth doing. So I've designed it to be corner to corner, and that's how I tacked it up. That way, like I said, I'm not backing it with gas, so to avoid excess oxidation, whatever else. If you stick a weld on here, you've got nothing holding. If you sand it off or whatever, it'll crack. So what I've done, I'll put a weld in here like this, so it catches this edge here, it's catching that edge there. I'll try to get minimal burn through, which I did, and we've still got full weld here. If you want to sand it off, go flat there, and you can sand that off, no worries at all. So that's not a problem. And if you can still see this in the camera, when I go to put the top on, that'll be the side coming on down, and the top, what I've done is I should have made it, I think, designed it 10mm extra out the side here, so I can put a fillet weld in there like that. That way I don't have to prep that edge. Right, so that's all good. Hopefully that helps. If you're thinking of making one, TIG welding is a little bit more of a challenge than other types of welding, but you can get your head around it. You can get used to it. It's all about molten pull manipulation. Just remember that. All good. So moving forward, we're going to clean these welds up. There's various ways you can do that, but pickling paste is one that I normally use. Hopefully that helicopter's not too noisy, but I'm not going to bring pickling paste here because it's quite toxic. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this wire brush here. If you can get a hold of them, it's a stainless steel wire brush, so it won't impregnate that steel. I'm just going to put it in my battery jog and blaze away with that. If you have a, I don't know if that's shown up on video, but you might note as the build goes on that because I've scavenged steel from all sorts of different places and offcuts that people were throwing out, this stuff here is what they call a 2B finish, and this stuff here is actually brighter and has got a brushed, grainy sort of finish on it. It's not a big deal for what we're doing here. I will ultimately, I may just orbital sand it and get rid of that. So yeah, we'll clean this up, and then we might look at the top, who knows. So the big thing about stainless steel is all about finish, yeah? Finish, like on your fridge or your sink bench if you've got that. So what we'll do, we'll give it a going over with a wire brush, and then we'll give it a rub down with a Scotch-Brite. You notice like in industry they cut this at a certain distance back and then you can blend it all in. It's not so important here, but that's what it is. Scotch-Brite, and if you really want to go crazy, you put a bit of kerosene on it to wipe it up, and it does a good job, yeah? Right, let's go. So yeah, that'll do for now. We'll run over it with an orbital sander, probably one of the last things we do when we're finally finished, yeah. The other thing you want to bear in mind, if you're not familiar and you leave this stainless in the sun with this PVC on it, which is supposed to stop scratching, etc., the UV in the sun will make this stuff brittle, and when you try and peel it off, you'll be left with glue, and it's a real pain in the ass to get off. So yeah, just be aware of that. Don't leave it in the sun too long. And that's that. So we'll prep the top up now. This is about 8mm mild steel. And what I need to do is I'm just going to run around that edge with a grinding stone and get that mill scale off, because we're welding stainless to mild steel. So we're going to have to use a certain grade of wire, 308, 309 I think, for dissimilar metals. That is going to be a potential area where it could crack, because mild steel and stainless heat and contract at different, expand and contract different rates, but hopefully it'll be alright. That's why I'm going to put a fillet weld on it. But I need it back to bare metal, which is easier said than done. If I wanted to get all that mill scale off, I would have soaked it in cider vinegar, but anyway, this is what we're going to do. So that's that done. Now ideally, probably already know this, you don't want to be grinding and getting that mild steel dust all over your stainless, because it will impregnate it and cause it to rust and so forth. And you probably see on some of the things I make here where I've got that stuff has been scavenged, so it's been basically thrown out or whatever and not stored properly, and it starts to rust. So you've got to be a little bit careful of that. And ideally you don't want to use that grinding stone now on your stainless. You want to get one and separate them, so stainless is for stainless and mild steel's for mild steel. Now the other thing we don't we don't really want to do is get this round the wrong way. So that hole there, if you can see it, should be directly above the firebox. And then we'll get this even and we'll stick it on, yeah? So, I don't have the drawings on me right at the minute. Everything else has gone good with the drawings. Just mainly the thing, I'll have to get a bit more off that edge actually. It's not too bad for square, it's pretty good. I've cut the top out with the gas. Didn't really put as much effort into it as I should have. So it's probably not square. But anyway, yeah, I'll get the front, so we don't get this wrong. So there we go. They'll go in like that. Being upside down as it is. So the firebox with the hole, if you can see that from that angle, probably not. Firebox over the hole. And the reason for that is you can take the top off and feed sticks into the fire, or you can take it off and the fire heats up your fry pan a little bit quicker. Theory anyway. So it looks alright here, we're happy with that. So we'll get it nice and even, get the welder out and we'll tack it up. Thank you. And so there we have it. We'll call that part 1, we'll cut it into a few videos, just so they don't get too long. And yeah, pretty much part 1 finished. It's quite a lot of work to be done still on it, to be fair, but we're getting there quite well. So that's where we're at. You've seen us weld it up, bit of fabrication done. I've fitted that top on and welded that around there. Could go back in and do one on the inside, but I'll try it and see if it works. Once we get there, finally get there, and I put the legs on, and you'll see that part in the next video, if you want to have a look at that when I get it out, which shouldn't be too far away, hopefully. Yeah, it's unnaturally warm here today, which means rains are on their way, I would say. So with that being said, call it a day. Hope you're all fitting well and everybody's happy. And yeah, stage 1 of the old stainless outdoor wood-fired oven.